You are listening to the Quite Useless podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Quite Useless podcast. My name's Jordan Shaw and I'm joined again by my co-host Poppy Laroni.
Hello.
Poppy just said that I do the intro the same way every time, so I've deliberately mixed it up. Yeah.
I'm now in hysterics over here on the other side of the desk.
It's nice to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm alright. How is the juggling going?
Actually not as well as... I've been doing it every day, like making a point of doing it every day from the start of January, and...
That was your New Year's resolution? To learn how to juggle?
It was... I just wanted to learn stuff new this year because I'm not in education anymore, and I've kind of been in education my entire life, and it feels weird not to learn things. So I happened to get given juggling balls on New Year's Day. No, on New Year's Day actually. So I took it up, but it's kind of slipped to the wayside. I can do it, but I'm not to the point where I can definitely do it without dropping them yet.
How long does it take you to get proficient?
It's supposed to take you a week.
Okay.
I think it took me a wee bit longer than a week. But yeah, so you start with one ball and then you build up to two, and once you get them going...
How do you juggle one ball?
Well, it's really just throwing in an arc between your hands,
right.
But it helps you get the right arc. But then I got to the point where I could do three, but I could only do like one round, and then I need to stop and do it again,
right.
and stop and do it again. But it is really about, you just kind of have to like throw caution to the wind and throw the balls into the air and do it. Like, it is quite strange.
I'd quite like to learn juggling because I don't have enough party tricks. Like my main thing that I could do at parties that's interesting is, you know how like when you yawn, sometimes like a jet of water, a jet of like saliva sprays out your mouth.
Oh, you can do that on command?
You can do it on command, yeah. That's so maybe I should like try and pick up juggling as something
really
more sort of socially acceptable.
Yeah, I'm really good at like balancing things, so I thought I'd like add to this kind of like circusy-esque feel. But I just like do everything so that I can use it in a show at one point.
Yeah, it is something else for the CV.
Yeah.
I feel like though, like the effort to sexiness ratio for juggling is like completely off. Like you have to work quite hard to learn a skill that is just not really that cool.
Yeah. Martha laughs at me for ages, and then I'll like drop one on her and she'll be raging. Like, it's not... I tried to do it with peaches at my mum's house on Saturday.
That's quite a sexy fruit.
But it didn't go. It's just like bruised peaches.
And it's like the like more difficult it gets, the less sort of sexy it becomes as a talent. Like already, like it's juggling is like a 5 on the sexy scale if you're quite good at it.
I love that
you've
like, got this whole scale in your head. Like, this is news to me. But
like the minute you introduce a unicycle into the picture, it completely drops. The harder it gets, the less cool juggling is. Whereas like the saxophone or something, that was quite a cool instrument to learn. I know someone who he's like 12 and is learning the saxophone, and his main object is to sort of get girls out of it.
Well, one of my other New Year's resolutions, it was I'd love to learn how to play the violin, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. Because I still live with people, and like to practice the violin around other people.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a bad violin.
Yeah.
Well, how many instruments can you play?
I can play guitar, piano, and ukulele. I'd quite like to get a mandolin, because they're like cheap. Is that
a string instrument?
Yeah, so it's kind of similar sizes to a ukulele, but it's got double strings really close together. It's the one that they play on Mumford & Sons, you know, bling, bling, bling.
Well, I've heard it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like, they sound like a banjo?
Yeah, ish.
Right.
It's more guitar-y than it's not quite as like twangy as a banjo. But I don't know, I just like want to pick stuff up now. But then I'm like, I should really just go and actually learn the instruments I've been selfish taught, like.
To become really good at them.
Well, I'm not even really good, just like to be good, like to be like substantially alright at piano would be nice.
That was like watching La La Land really made me want to be able to play the piano.
It really made me want to dance, as does most musicals though.
I don't even dance much, innit?
I know, but even what they did do, like all that kind of like tap, footwork, or even just the posture of it all, like they just move in that kind of way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'd love to be able to control my body and in any way at all. I was like so bad at dancing. We were on a show together in 2012.
Oh yeah, we did say we were going to talk about how we knew each other.
That was a segue there. You've just flagged it up, but it was like a seamless connection. Yeah, we were on a show together in like 2012, and I had to dance, and I was.
Jordan was the lead in this show, I might add, and it was a musical.
I was so bad at dancing that I decided to just sort of make it part of my character, like because I had no other option. I couldn't do it properly, so I just had to make it look like I was being deliberately bad. And people did ask afterwards, so were you deliberately doing that? Was your character bad at dancing?
Did they really?
Yeah, a couple of people said that to me, and I was like, I don't know whether that means I've succeeded or not. It was rather an achievement to have got through that show, given that I can't sing and can't dance. I had
you can sing fine.
I had like 12 songs. I'm better than I was. I wasn't that good then. I think I got better having done that.
I think you were good in that show, and then maybe not so good in the next one.
What was my next one?
I can't quite remember. But I remember being like...
Was it The Gates?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or was it Music of Strangers?
No, I wasn't on that.
Were you not?
No.
What was the one...
Wasn't asked to be in that. Sorry. Thanks for bringing that up again, Poppy.
Sorry.
I had in Back to the 80s, which is when we did in 2012, that I had to sing in. I did what was it? Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I had to sing.
No,
that.
it wasn't Living on Prayer. It was
it not?
Shot Through the Heart.
You Give Love a Bad Name. That's Bon Jovi, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I had to sing that in like the high note. I didn't get it once. My voice cracked both times. I'm not doing it. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember there was a bit I had to go up really high, and I failed. Yeah. Completely ruined it.
My big solo in that was Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah. I found that quite easy because I had to sing that as well. I had the male part and it was really low. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I considered that song like a break.
I was just annoyed because Jordan and I have known each other since primary school and we weren't in the same cast for our final show together, and that was quite sad.
But the person, because it was divided casts, but the person who played Poppy's part in my cast was like barely ever in. So I was always rehearsing with you. So now when I think back to it, I feel like I was singing it with you.
Oh, but that's nice.
I always think of doing it with you because the other person was barely ever there.
Yeah, I've had that experience quite a lot of times where I've been double cast with somebody who, through a variety of reasons, just doesn't really turn up to the rehearsals, and it's the most frustrating thing because it's like you're not getting credit for doing all the work, or even double the work, like because it's straining your voice and straining your body twice as much as it is on anybody else's, and you're not getting the credit for it.
I suppose you get more practice, isn't it? Whenever I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but certainly being in a show that was double cast, that one really wanted to be in the best cast. Got quite passionate about it.
It's a shame though. It's a shame that you split up into these like good casts and bad casts. I had a lecturer in college that we were doing Trojan Barbie, and it was loosely based off of the Women of Troy. And so she called us two ancient Greek names because she didn't want to have an A and a B or a 1 and a 2 cast. She didn't want the idea that any cast was better than the other. And I kind of respected that. But it's not about the names of the cast, but who's in them.
Yeah.
And I find that...
I mean, it's like if she was trying to trick people into not competing.
Yeah, but,
I don't know, like, as long as it doesn't get too aggressive, I guess, a bit of competition is not so bad. If it pushes you to try harder...
and I think I probably really did benefit from those extra rehearsals.
Good. Thanks, Laura. Thanks for not coming. I hope your granddad's okay now. That was why she wasn't coming, wasn't it? Her granddad was unwell.
I don't know.
Best wishes to Laura's granddad if you're listening. Shall we move on to talk about people who are good at art and singing and dancing?
Should I say we're not good at art and singing and dancing?
Well, I'm certainly speaking for myself. I haven't seen you in a while. I don't know how you're doing in your artistic career. But you're in Macbeth soon. Yeah.
An all-female production of Macbeth that is going on at Deaf Connections. It's just a shameless plug now.
Yeah, it's fine. Get used to it because we're going to get on the director of the show and speak to her about the project.
Yeah, I think that'll be an interesting chat because I'm kind of learning more and more as we go. But I'm one of the witches and we're doing it kind of in a societal shift in the future.
When is it set?
Loosely in the future. We've not got like a bit. I mean, it's not the kind of idea that through Well, we kind of started the concept for it before the Trump election, but post Brexit, and I think it was kind of born out of that dissatisfaction with the way that politics were going, and I think that's certainly kind of the direction. It's not specifically to do with any administration, but it certainly kind of seems to follow a big change where a lot of people aren't happy, and that kind of feels like what we're in now.
I think there's a tendency to sort of separate art and politics and regard them as separate spheres, that they sort of don't overlap. But the political situation has had like a massive effect. I was reading Stuart Lee, the comedian, is working on a new show just now, and he said he had all this material, and then Brexit happened, and he had to just completely change the show because the political situation has changed so extensively.
I'd seen a show that Rob Drummond had done, and it was my lecturer David Overend had co-directed it with him because they're really good pals and we kind of work on these shows together, and it was called Wallace, and it was on the week of the Scottish referendum, and so that was the first show I'd seen of theirs, and then I went into a workshop for their next show, and it was going to be called Referendum, about how referendums work and how they aren't really a good way to decide things for the nation, because either way half the amount of people are raging and half of them are really happy.
I think there's also, like, I remember people expressing, certainly with regard to Brexit, the idea that a referendum, although it seems it's good, it's direct democracy, you're asking the people what they want, what under what kind of system they want to be governed. The reason we have the political system we have, and that we elect a representative to go to Parliament and vote, is so that we don't have to do the homework, and we don't have to know about whether being in Europe is better or not.
I think the other thing is that you're only getting two choices. You're getting yes or no, in or out.
Yeah, and rather than a reformed.
It's not okay, could we have part of this and part of another thing, and kind of mix something together that makes the most sense for the country. But what was really interesting about when they were working that show was like exactly when the Brexit vote went through, and they had to change the show every day. They sat down to workshop it because something else had popped up in the news that just made it a completely altered story. And it's just really, really interesting that can happen when you do mix politics and art.
I think, I mean, everyone is not everyone, but a lot of people are very vocal about the political situation at the moment with Trump and Brexit and stuff. But if we wish to look on the bright side, if you don't regard that as being a bright side, it might be that this kind of situation in which there is a political movement or regime that people are unhappy with might provoke artists to make more exciting, vital art in response to it. There's certainly evidence of that, I think, in the Thatcher years, when like comedy, certainly it may well be the case for other art forms, but that was when like the alternative comedy movement sprung up, and comedy stopped being something that was made by the Oxbridge graduates of the Cambridge Footlights and stuff, and it changed to people coming from other universities or not from university at all. Things like the Young Ones and things sprung up, this anarchic brand of comedy. So in a way it could be it is quite exciting to live in this time, and we don't know what's going to happen over the next 4, 8, 10 years. Perhaps it, dare I say, it will be good for art despite all the cuts. And
yeah, I think it definitely inspires people to make change, and whether people are doing that in the form of protesting and trying to put money into figuring out a way to get through this, or to have it stay the same. You can either do that, or there's a lot of artists that will take the subject matter and go, this is how I'm feeling about it, and I think that's what a lot of interesting art comes out of.
And there certainly has been a lot, certainly on the, I mean, I haven't seen any pro-Trump art.
No.
I'd like some to be made just for balance. I did read a story about a woman in Germany. She had a bakery called Trump Bakery, and she made some Trump slices for people just to sort of play on the name. She was actually related distantly to the Trump family, who came from Germany, and the name was initially Drumpf, I believe, and they changed it to Trump. Yeah, Drumpf.
Wow. That's actually quite fun to say.
Drumpf, yeah.
You should try that.
She made these Trump cakes, and she only sold them for about a week because she couldn't sell them. No one was buying them.
Jesus.
So maybe Trump art wouldn't be very successful. But the anti-Trump art, there's been a lot of it made in the last couple of weeks. The new Gorillaz song, Gorillaz have finally come back after, when was the last album? Like 2010, I think, was Plastic Beach, and then they released The Fall, which was like 2011. But they've finally come back with the first song off of what I think is going to be off their new record, Hallelujah Money.
And thank you, my friend, for trusting me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, money. Hallelujah, money.
It's provoking some interesting responses. What did you think?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I liked the guy that was singing. That was my favourite part. Like, it was kind of soulish.
Benjamin Clementine says, yeah. He won the Mercury Prize, I think, in 2014.
Okay.
He's an interesting guy. He taught himself the piano just by listening to people play music. And
I'm so jealous of people with that kind of skill.
I know, it's sort of astonishing. He used to like bunk off school in order to go to the library and read dictionaries. At least this is what it said on this like little clip of an interview of him I watched. But like I questioned how often he bunked off school to go and read dictionaries, because I've tried to read dictionaries and they are boring. Like I bet he only did that once, and then he's like trying to make himself sound clever by saying he did that every day.
Maybe
because they caught him out. The teachers told his parents that he was bunking off school. But you know, he's done alright out of it. He's become very successful. Sort of lyrically, musically, doing very well. And I think he to that song, he does bring a sort of. It's got a sort of demented spirituality about it that is quite appropriate in the moment, I think, when people are anxious and fearful and confused about what's happening. It feels rather fitting.
I thought the start was quite weird because it's got that kind of odd, not musical part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of it brought me closer to the making of the music. I don't know if that was the intention, but it felt almost Brechtian in what we do in Brecht in the theatre. It felt like that for music. Like here's a wee bit of the before.
You thought it was pulling back the curtain?
A wee bit, yeah. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I felt like we heard the sound waves before we heard the music, if that makes any sense.
For me, it kind of, I don't know, it makes it seem like it's like a news broadcast or something. Like
yeah, I was just going to say, it feels a wee bit dangerous almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, it comes back to Minds in Advanced Drama. This is a while ago. You had me read out The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. It kind of brings me to that kind of feeling.
It's got,
it feels like a movement.
Yeah, it's almost like a poem. I was talking to someone about it and she referred to the song as a poem, and you could definitely see it that way because there's no, it's kind of, you could imagine them being separate. You could imagine the vocals and the music being separate. They don't really fit in together. And the music, it doesn't really have a melody or anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it feels like stuff is kind of strung together.
And it's provoked some quite intense reactions from Gorillaz fans and from music fans in general. I've noticed quite a few people say object to it on the grounds that it doesn't fit into the Gorillaz style.
But this really frustrates me when people say this about musicians. It's like people have been making music for years.
Yeah.
I mean, specific bands make music over a long period of time. Their music is going to change. Especially
Gorillaz. Like, I'm not really sure what the Gorillaz style is. If anything, the Gorillaz style is not having a style because they change so massively between albums, or between songs even within albums. But people are really, really angry. I went onto YouTube and looked at the comments to get a kind of sense of what people are saying about it, and people are very cross. Disappointed is not even close to the word I would use. Confusion, even anger come to mind. What is he thinking?
I just don't get it.
That's for someone who said that they were a Gorillaz fan. Another person says, every time he says hallelujah money, my grows an inch smaller. Which is quite... That's quite intense, right?
Yeah.
I've never listened to a song that
It's quite impressive.
did that.
The power of music, isn't it?
Yeah. This is terrible. I would rather slam my in a toilet seat than hear another 3 seconds of that.
Is this really what you're reading that?
Yeah, we got on these on YouTube.
YouTube are obsessed with apparently.
Yeah, a lot of phallic references there. This one's really intense. This is so demonic and satanic. How do people not see that? Like, seriously, I want to cry because my brothers and sisters of this world are so blind. Please pray if you see this comment. Please. It's not that bad, is it? It may not be your thing.
Intense overreaction to music.
I mean, I guess I can see why they think it's demonic and satanic. I don't think it is, but it's not something that's comfortable to listen to.
No. But even then, I just don't understand. I mean, obviously millions of people do this. But I don't feel the need to dislike something and then put it online that I dislike it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't add to anything. If I write anything online, I'm writing, this was amazing, go and check this out. Please, everybody check this out because I really, really enjoyed it. I would never comment on a YouTube video and going, this was horrible.
I don't know. Maybe these... I mean, there are a lot of people that sort of comment on these videos and say rather horrible things. I don't. Maybe they feel
what does it achieve?
Maybe they feel that they're entitled to be entertained or to have everything be made for them, and then when they don't get that, they feel they have a right to complain.
Do you know that way? If I stick on a piece of music on YouTube, if I don't like it in the first 30 seconds, I'll put on something that I know.
No.
I'll click away. Why waste the time listening to the song and comment on it at the bottom? I think people just really like to argue with each other. But it's certainly not the mindset I've got about the internet.
I don't know, yeah, I wish I could provide some insight, but I don't understand it at all. I think, but what is quite good is I went to look up those comments deliberately just to see what people were saying, but I had to take off an extension I have on my Chrome browser that just blocks YouTube comments, so they just don't come up.
Really?
So your eyes are not tempted to drift below the description.
That's
which has really been good for my mental health.
That's good.
You never hear, like, you know, when people speak to, like, old people who are, like, 90 years old and they're reflecting on their life. Like, no one ever says, you know, I wish I'd spent more time reading YouTube comments. And I don't think we're ever going to say that. So any time reading YouTube comments is probably wasted.
Yeah, likely.
But back to the music. You were saying that this sort of staticky sound that is at the start of the song is also present in Father John Misty's
Yeah,
song.
it's at the start of Pure Comedy.
At 6.
For some reason when I go to yeah.
The comedy of man.
It definitely does feel like it kind of distances you a bit. It's not, I don't even know if distancing is the right word. It's just quite odd to start a song without the music and then to go into the music and then to end it on a...
Well, it does, I suppose, hint that it's a manufactured thing. I'm not sure to what effects it might do that.
And I think it's interesting. I think it's probably more startling in the Father John Misty because his music is relatively folky. It's quite kind of, let's follow along with this story and see where it goes, and it definitely did feel, well, it seemed to make that feel manufactured.
What did you think of the song then? Pure Comedy is the title track from his new album, which is coming out in April. Quite ambitious.
Yeah.
In terms of what it's about.
Yeah, I think both of them, because we listened to, what was the name of the other one?
Two wildly different perspectives, yes.
I think the lyrics of the two wildly different perspectives possibly hit me a bit more, because it just seemed really to resonate with this period of time that we're in politically. But I think Pure Comedy did the same.
Well, the opening lyric is the comedy of man starts like this, and then it kind of takes you through the history of humanity from birth to the present moment. This was over 6 minutes long.
Whereas like the two perspectives one, it really, like, I think it talks about hell in like the first 3 lines or something, and it's about like the hell that you pray to, that I don't pray to, but we're both going to end up there, and it was all very, very sad.
I think it certainly, I mean, I'm looking at the lyrics for Pure Comedy just now, and although it's kind of down about the political situation at the moment, I think it's also optimistic in a way. It ends saying each other's all we've got.
Well, that's a nice message at the end of a...
Which is, I think these two songs, maybe not so much pure comedy, but they're kind of a departure for Father John Misty, whose work tends to be ironic, and quite sort of satirical and not so earnest as these ones are. I guess it's quite refreshing to hear someone respond to politics in such a sincere way, especially for someone who you don't usually expect that of.
Yeah, it's certainly very kind of... The lyrics are very striking. You know, he says, with risen zombies, celestial virgins, magic tricks, these unbelievable outfits. It's very descriptive.
I think definitely the video is worth watching in conjunction with it, because it's like a montage of different images representing the history of people. Trump appears when he says the word goon.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the video while I was listening.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
no, I've listened to it while I was walking, but
yeah. Well, when he says the lyrics, where did they find these goons they elected to rule them? Trump comes up dancing.
I've just seen a brilliant line here. It's their horizons that just forever recede. That was just lovely.
And the following line is good. And how's this for irony? Their idea of being free is a prison of beliefs that they never have to leave. So he's got a message.
Yeah, it's certainly a very strong message throughout both of those tracks.
What did you think? Just musically, taking the politics and the message aside. You said you weren't such a fan of Father John Misty's style.
No, I don't. I don't know. It wasn't like sonically as beautiful as I thought it would be.
What made you think it was going to be beautiful?
His name.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of had this perception. No, I know. I just had like a perception of. See, now that you've said priest, my harmony line is going to sound like I'm wanting some sort of godly effect, but it's not at all. I'm just, I don't know, as a big fan of, say, Bon Iver and the Staves, like a lot of what I look for in music is something that sounds beautiful, that has harmonies to it, and there's so much to hear.
I think you're not wrong to expect that of him, because he comes from Fleet Foxes. He's a drummer. He's a drummer in Fleet Foxes who are within that kind of indie folk style. He does have a sort of, when I was listening to his music, he does have a kind of unique style that it doesn't quite fit in with others, although he's a singer-songwriter and he plays guitar. He does have a sort of unique take on it. In terms of lyrics as well, it feels like he's composed the music and written a poem, and then he's trying to fit the poem in to the music. And I don't necessarily mean that as a negative. It just gives it a different kind of style. And I guess Father John Misty's kind of an appropriate name. Maybe it's a little preachy.
I think what the difference is that when you're talking about the Staves or Bon Iver or Fleet Foxes, even a lot of the stuff they write about is feelings, whereas these two tracks anywhere are very political, so possibly harmonies really wouldn't work with that message.
Yeah, also quite abstract their work, especially Bon Iver.
Yeah, and it's very like interpretive, whereas this is very much I'm telling you what I think about this certain situation, and I don't think harmonies would fit there, but it's just not what I expected to hear from.
He also does it with a sort of layer of irony and humour that stops it becoming too tiresome. I think the listener doesn't necessarily feel that they're being preached to.
No, I didn't feel like I was being preached to at all. It was very, I was listening to it going, oh wow, this is really about these times right now.
Well, moving away from the political work of the moment, the XX have just released a new album.
Yes.
Did you listen to that?
Yeah, I did. I listened to it a couple of times. I didn't like it quite as much as I liked their first album, or what I remember of their first album.
The XX, which came out in 2008.
Yeah. It's got that brilliant intro. But it's like brilliant. And it's all lovely, and I love the sound of that album, whereas this one, I don't know, I liked it, but it's not something I think I would play very often.
I think that first album with XX is really one of my favourite albums of the 2000s. It was really underrated. And their second one, Coexist, which I think came out in 2012, didn't quite get the acclaim that first one did. People rather said that they had sort of lost their way. And I think they kind of found it again in this album, in as much as it sounds quite cohesive.
I also thought that a lot of it felt quite samey though. There was a lot of lyrics, I feel, about performing. Like there was a lot about stage and kind of showing off and getting ready and that kind of lead up to and the process of performing something, which I don't know, I thought as a performer I would quite like, and in reality I didn't very much.
You didn't like what they were saying, as distinct from your evaluation of the
It's
music?
not that I didn't like what they were saying, it was just I didn't really resonate with it at all. It was very just kind of, oh okay, like I don't know, when people talk about going on stage I'm like, oh I've done that, like I can I think about that, and it's a bizarre feeling, and it's nice when people try and kind of articulate what it feels like, and it certainly, I don't know, just what they were saying didn't really resonate with me.
See, I didn't really dig into the lyrics. Sometimes I do listen to lyrics, sometimes I don't, but this album the lyrics didn't jump out at me as being a key element. I know what you mean when you say that you thought it was quite samey, because I think that is quite a key part of the XX's style, that they repeat similar elements in slightly different ways, which probably contributes to the cohesiveness of their sound when they really get it right, especially on that first album. I guess it's sort of jazz-esque in that way, the repetition of motifs, although in a completely different style, kind of electronic, smooth, R&B-ish.
Yeah, I mean, did you have a favourite track out of the album, or is it something that you think you listen to as a whole?
Yeah, I totally listen to it as a whole. Yeah, I don't really. It's the same for the the original XX album. I've listened to that probably at least 100 times. But I can't pick one song because it feels like it needs to be listened to in its entirety. It really feels like an album. And I know that a lot of people said that we're kind of moving away from the album model and people are increasingly making songs. But I think the XX's work is definitely one that benefits from being listened to.
I hadn't heard that about moving away from the album, but I think that's...
I think I've heard a lot of people talking about it and saying that we're, because of things like Spotify, people are able to make more choices about what they listen to. They can pick songs and make their own playlists and things like that in a way that they couldn't before, so that the album may become less of, I mean, you know, it's kind of the form in that, in the same way that the novel is kind of the form of writing, but that this doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
Yeah,
and
it's
that we might start to move away from it.
It's interesting because I think it depends on the artist for me. Like, I wouldn't listen to an album of Hayley Steinfeld, but I was just saying to you this morning that I've listened to that track, Starving, and absolutely love it. Like, I don't think I could name another Hayley Steinfeld song, but I would happily listen to that over and over again, whereas when Bon Iver releases anything, I need to know the full album inside and out.
Yeah,
and I would never listen to it, well, not never, but very rarely do I listen to the odd Bon Iver song.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I remember once seeing an album that was the best of Pink Floyd, and I was like, you can't pull out a Pink Floyd song and then put it together with a bunch of other ones from different albums, because their albums flow so beautifully, and they're all concept albums, and they all have something important to say or something significant to say in the order that they've chosen to be exhibited in.
Whereas I've got two best albums that I can think of just now, one of them being Best of the Mamas and the Papas, and the other being the Best of the Beach Boys. And I think with those really harmonic, like, backup, you know, there's so many different parts to listen to bands.
ABBA
they
as
all
well.
kind of fit.
Everyone's got ABBA Gold.
They all fit.
I wonder
really
why that
well.
is. Is it something about the pop style?
I think all those songs sound very similar though. Like when you're listening to the Mamas and the Papas, and you're listening to the Beach Boys, you know that one of them's going to sing and the rest are going to go da, 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 and that's how the track's going to go, and then they'll all come together at one point and sing different parts and it'll all sound amazing, and that's pretty much the same as every track.
Maybe it's the sameness and the fact that pop music, and I don't necessarily mean this as a criticism, that there's a sort of mould for pop music and a sort of structure that it has to fit into in order to be successful, that it maybe works better when you pick the best of what someone's made. I don't know, I remember when I was a kid I had Steps Gold album, and I thought that was much better than all the other Steps studio albums that I had.
Well, I suppose it does kind of say it on the tin, doesn't it? It's all the best ones. Like, and I mean, we had a red Beatles album that was, I don't know, a selection of brilliant Beatles songs from throughout their albums, and it was brilliant. I think it really does cut out the songs that most people didn't like on those albums. But then a lot of the albums, like actual albums that I love to listen to, they're ones that near every track is perfect. There's a band, Motel Raphael, that I've been listening to, and on their album System, there's one track I don't like, and all of the rest of them are brilliant. So it's maybe something to do with that. It depends how good the album is for us to want or need a best of.
There are definitely different qualities of best of. I remember I went into Woolworths once.
Back in the day
when we had Woolworths. I bought a Bob Marley best of that wasn't Bob Marley Legend, and it was rubbish. It wasn't even the best of him in any way.
I guess it's subjective, isn't it?
If you're going to buy a Bob Marley best of, buy Legend.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Good
Have you
to know.
got that?
No.
You must have heard that everyone's got that album.
Well, that's the thing. I've started rediscovering my mum and dad's music taste and what we used to listen to in the car or in, like during the summer or anywhere really. And every time I hear one of those songs now, I'm like, oh great, that's another one on the list that I hadn't realised I'd forgotten, do you know, that way, and it comes on and I know every word because I've heard it 1,000 times, have not listened to it as an adult. And Bob Marley was one of them. I came on in the cafe one day and I was like, I didn't think I liked Bob Marley, and now I remember that this has been a significant portion of my childhood. And it's brilliant when you rediscover stuff like that. And the other big one was the Isley Brothers, This Old Heart of Mine, which is just the catchiest song on the planet. It's so good. Couldn't tell you another Isley Brothers song name, but that's the one that we used to listen to.
Alright, let's move on from music because we've got a few other things to talk about. The Oscars are coming up.
It's the 27th of February, I think.
But we watched, as research, Hidden Figures. We went to see Hidden Figures, which has been nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
It's the story of 3 black women who worked at NASA in the 1960s, set in 1961, who worked as computers. And it was weird to hear people being referred to as computers.
Very strange.
And they provided the mathematical formulas and stuff for the building of the rockets and the shuttles before they went into space.
26th of February.
It's the 26th of February, okay. Save the date.
Yeah. We'll find out on the 27th because we'll be asleep. But yeah, what did you think of the movie?
It's good. It's one of those movies that is often described as feel good, which is usually they mean that as a compliment. But I don't know whether the greatest works of art of all time would ever be described as feel good. But it is good. It's definitely, I enjoyed it. I had a good time during the 2 hours in which I spent looking at it. I thought that obviously quite timely, talking about racism in the United States and things like that, and I found it really strange because it wasn't so long ago. It was 1961, and to see the kind of racial segregation it's in Virginia, which is where it's set, is quite striking.
Yeah, I found that it's very interesting and uncomfortable to see something that wasn't that long ago but that was so obvious.
And I think they did a really good job of depicting it, because it also felt normal though. It felt normal. It felt like it kind of felt like the present day, and they made it look like the present day. They used present day music quite a lot, but also society was so completely different back then, and it really sort of brought home that sharp difference in the way that minorities, women and black people were treated at that time.
Well, that's what I really kind of enjoyed about the film, actually, was that it was about these 3 black women. Like, it was all about them.
Yeah, it really
like
was.
I mean, you had what I think scenically when you're watching it is very stark, the difference when, you know, she's in the room full of white men and she's this black woman sitting down and doing this work, and it's just like, I mean, it's so obvious. It's always so obvious. It was a really like empowering story about women working hard and doing it, and it was really nice to watch.
You say the racism was so obvious, and it was, but it was also, if it's not a contradiction to say, quite subtle and non-aggressive. No one was abusing people for being black or anything like that. It was all through the white portion of the cast. Each character,
that's what I mean.
Each character was racist on a slightly different level. Yeah, I think Kirsten Dunst's character was really being quite racist throughout the whole thing, but I don't think she knew she was.
I think it was definitely the norm at that time. That's how it came across anyway. It didn't seem like they were particularly over dramatising anything that happened throughout the course of the film. But I found a really touching moment when, towards the end of the film, where she calls Dorothy Vaughan, like she says Mrs. Vaughan, and it was that kind of like a nod to, I'm sorry for treating you less than, throughout the course of their time working together.
I think there was a particularly rewarding combination between the race for space that sort of animates the film and the juxtaposition of that with the fight for civil rights. I thought that pairing really worked quite well. It brought out a lot of interesting perspectives on both things. I found myself wondering why are they worrying about going into space when they haven't got things right on this planet yet?
Yeah.
And it did feel bizarre that all the white people were concerned with getting to space, but the black people weren't even allowed to sit where they wanted on the bus.
Yeah, and I think even that fight for education was really moving throughout the film, because a few characters kind of go through that. They want to learn something and they're not allowed to, and eventually get their way. And I think Janelle Monáe's plea to the judge is a very moving bit. She kind of talks about how he was the first to be a judge and the first to go to university in his family, and it's very much the emotional plea, but that's how she won it. And I think that's, I mean, but I'm very sentimental, but I did really enjoy seeing that fight for education, seeing how people's minds changed.
And obviously we as a society in America and Britain have improved massively since the 1960s, but also it remains so relevant. I read a statistic that was quoted in the Atlantic's review of the film that said in 2015 they did a survey of women working in STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, and they said that 100% of them, without one exception, reported having experienced gender discrimination in their workplace. But there wasn't one who hadn't, which is really quite remarkable. And we've got a little while to go, I guess.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's good that it's been made, this film, and it may have a positive effect in that regard. There was a review, it was on RogerEbert.com, of someone who worked as a mathematician and was reviewing the film, a black mathematician, and they said, I think, that if that film had been made, if they'd seen that film when they were a kid, it really would have inspired them. So hopefully little girls or little black girls are watching this film and going, you know, I can become a scientist.
I think that's why diversity across film and TV is really important, because it's very emotional to see yourself represented properly in depth, and I feel that's really moving that we're starting to go in that direction, but we do certainly have a very long way to go.
I think, I would say that was the film's strongest suit, the way that it dealt quite deftly with these issues of gender and race discrimination in a way that felt very, very relevant.
Very
And also-
relevant and very natural.
Yeah, and it wasn't fierce or aggressive or upsetting. It was, as many have described, very feel-good and inspiring.
Yeah, definitely.
And although I wouldn't say that it's particularly remarkable, and I don't think the story was so extraordinary, the plot was very predictable. I mean, it was obviously predictable in that we know that they did eventually get to space. But also just the way in which the narrative unfolded. You knew how it was going. There were no real surprises. But still, the way that it was told was really beautiful. In fact, I don't want to say beautiful, what an awful word to use, but
it was. Like, I mean, and there's a very moving part at the end of the movie where they've got a photo of the 3 actresses that played the parts, and then the photos merge into who the real women were, and it is, I mean, very obvious, but it serves as a reminder that this was a real thing that happened, and
real people.
It was 3 real women. We didn't fictionalise these characters. Like, this is who it was about.
There's one moment I wanted to bring up just before we finish up in the film, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's right in the middle of the film, and it's quite a key moment where there is, in the office in which they're working, there is a sort of symbolic action done by one of the white characters, the kind of boss of the, I'm not familiar with the terms, but he was like
the
boss.
NASA terms.
Kevin Costner's character was like the boss of the space program, and he does this thing that sort of flies in the face of racial discrimination.
It's actually in one of the adverts. You probably could talk
Can I
about
say
it.
it? Alright, okay. Yeah, okay. He knocks down the bathroom signs that say bathrooms for white people, bathrooms for coloureds. And he knocks it down and says, we all pee the same colour now at NASA. What did you think of that moment? Because I think it was quite an important one.
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniably very important. I think what I really enjoyed about the movie and throughout the course of it, and you know, that's a really key moment in that process, is that you see Kevin Costner's character move through a series of emotions and acceptance for the computers that work for him. It really moves in the direction of acceptance, from not very accepting to, you know, he knocks down the sign and then he gets her into the big room at the end without spoiling anything too much. Like, I think it's quite moving when you see somebody recognise something. I mean, ultimately it was for his own benefit, so that she could work longer and serve
that's
the
what I wanted
country.
to say. They've clearly, that moment is, I guess it's simple in what he does, but it's really quite complex in the implications it has, because he does this rather small and trivial action in the wider context of segregation and Jim Crow laws in the South, and he does it for his own benefit, so that the woman can get to the bathroom sooner so she can get back to work. I don't know, I'm not really sure what the film was trying to say with it. He does such a positive action in terms of asserting racial equality, but he does it for his own selfish reasons. And also the tone of the thing was really odd, because I found myself thinking that it was quite funny because of the way that they had depicted her situation of needing to go to the bathroom and not being able to do it.
Which is actually quite serious when you think about it. Like, she had to walk half a mile there and half a mile back to go to the coloured bathroom, which was across the campus, let's say. I mean, that's like a working place right to, you know, like, work in a comfortable working environment. But
they made it funny.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting mix of feelings about it, which made it all the more powerful. I wasn't really sure what I felt about it. Was it a criticism of white people's approach to the racist society that they were living in, that they didn't care about it until it affected them in this tiny way? He only knocked down that sign when it was getting in the way of his work.
I don't know whether it was a criticism of that or not, but I think that's kind of a harsh reality of how change happens, because nobody cared when, so they've got scenes in the movie where they depict people protesting against the racism in which they live, and that had almost no effect on anybody, but something as simple as somebody going to the bathroom made a huge impact. And I think that's because change happens when it affects the people who weren't affected by it before.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess it was good that it included a small action like that had such wide-ranging effects. It reminded me of the Rosa Parks sitting in front of the bus, and that tiny act of resistance is now so culturally in our memory of segregation in that time. Has such an enduring place.
I really love the part where Dorothy's character is pretty much forced to steal a book from the library if she wants to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes back on the bus, and her and her two sons sit at the back of the bus, and she explains to them the difference between right and wrong, and then pulls out this book that she's stolen, but it's for her right to education. I just think that's a really nice thing to teach your kids, almost, is because it's really boring. It's about the language in which computers speak to each other. I can't quite remember what it's called, but she's like, I know I need to learn this in order to keep my job, so that's what I'm going to do. And she starts reading aloud this very boring non-fiction book to these two boys on the back of the bus, and I'm just like, there was a real passion and desire there that I found quite inspiring.
Also, I saw it remarked upon that in films that are about someone who is intellectually extraordinary in some way, that they really, really focus on that. They focus on the aspects of them that are really quite weird and odd and remarkable about them. But the characters in this film were astoundingly intelligent, but they felt so normal and relatable, and that it focused on
definitely
their romantic lives, their family lives, and things like that. It didn't make them seem weird. It didn't make them seem so different from the average person. Yeah, it
didn't feel like they were an anomaly at all. No. They were just very intelligent people. But I think that, again, that's something that really kind of resonated with me throughout the movie, was this thirst for knowledge. Yeah,
I think it really works as I said, it's maybe not the best piece of film ever made, because it's quite predictable, narratively not massively sophisticated, but it is a very well made political piece of work. It's very accessible.
Definitely.
What do you think of its Oscar prospects? It's nominated for Best Picture.
I'm not convinced it will get there, but then I also am not convinced that La La Land will or should.
Well, you can never be sure, no. I think La La Land is a better film.
I don't know, I think,
that's just my
scenically I think it probably was a better film. It did more interesting things with how it was shot and what it told and how they told it than Hidden Figures. But I didn't watch either of the two and go, oh my god, they're definitely going to be nominated. I thought, oh, I really enjoyed those films. Great. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's overly cynical to say that there is a possibility that Hidden Figures received a nomination after last year's Oscar So White controversy, where the people were complaining about not enough black actors being nominated. It might be that is why it's on the list.
We do have a very diverse year this year, so however that came about, I'm happy, because it's nice to see people being represented, and I find it's a lot more interesting stories when you're watching something that's not about people like you, but also being able to see people like yourself being represented.
I don't think it will win. I don't really think it should win. Having only seen two Best Picture films, I think La La Land was the superior film, just aesthetically. But I'm glad it's been nominated, because it means more people will see it, and purely for utilitarian reasons, I think it will make people happy when they see it, and there will be more people happy in the world now that film's been nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, so also nominated for Best Picture we've got Arrival, Lion, Hell or High Water, Moonlight, Hacksaw Ridge, Manchester by the Sea, and Fences. I feel like the Oscar winners normally are very emotional, really deep in thought, dramatic performances. So I'd be surprised if the feel-good movies of La La Land and Hidden Figures won against something like Fences or Moonlight or Arrival or Lion even.
How do you know? You haven't seen them?
But I know what they're about.
Right, okay.
I think on a purely story basis, I think they're more likely to win.
Well, maybe we'll have a look at them over the next couple of weeks, and I guess we'll find out on February the 27th.
So, 26th.
Well, we'll find out on February 27th because we'll be asleep when it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Well, that just about wraps up the episode 4 of the Quite Useless podcast. Thank you for listening. Do bear with us over the next few weeks because obviously we're in rather a state of flux. Poppy's only just got on board and we're going to play around with the format a little bit and see what works and what doesn't. But if you have any feedback, do let us know via Facebook, via Twitter, by email at hello@quiteuseless. What is it? What's the email? Yeah, hello@quiteuseless.co.uk. Yeah, it'd be great to hear what you think, positive or negative. Well, thank you for listening to the Quite Useless podcast. See you when the next episode comes up. Bye.
Bye.